Hello, my name is Orphan, and this is Rain Firestar. Welcome back to another episode of Interview with the Furry.
Hello.
Hey there, thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts and opinions with everyone.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I caught you off guard again, didn't I?
Yeah.
Like before, even though this is a retake and no one heard about it before, on this one, you're free to not answer any questions that you don't want to, or however you want me to say that.
Yeah.
Alright, so to start, would you mind introducing yourself to our watchers?
I'm just Shy Toxic Art, mostly just on Facebook. I've tried to branch out to other medias, but, I'm terrible with technology, so I can't do anything.
Oh, believe me, I know that trouble. I miss the old, Razor phones, honestly.
Dude, I had one of those.
Were they the best?
That was the only time I've ever had a popular phone, is when I had one of those Razors, because I had them when they were, the thing.
I got them, a couple months right after they came out, and I just loved it. Just flipping it open and close, it was the best. It entertained me for, hours.
Yeah.
We got off topic, wow. Okay, that's how this is gonna go, apparently. I feel like a 5-year-old again. Okay. What and who is your fursona?
That's a bit harder. I mean, a couple of years ago, I could have told you it was my fox, and her name is Shy Toxic. And she's the mascot. She was my page mascot and everything. But, nowadays I have a whole folder of sonas that are very close and very personal to me, other than just Shy Toxic. I have a, little green girl. I can't pronounce the species that she's a part of. It's a weird name, and it's a new species, and I love it, but I can't pronounce the name of it. And her name's Emerald. So, and then I have a Drecubus, and she's purple, and she has, a galaxy thing to her a little bit. And her name's Calypso. So, really, I have 3 of them.
What the hell is that?
Huh?
What is a, I can't even say the word, the Draco, the thing?
Drecubus?
Yeah.
Oh, they're real neat. I've kind of gotten out of the species a little bit because just some drama, and then the new species, it's called, Exmali or something. It's so hard to pronounce because I've never had someone actually come up and pronounce it to me, so I'm kind of just reading the word and trying to pronounce it myself.
Well, you could do what I do and say abada, just some gibberish word.
Yeah, the Exmali, it's on Facebook as the World of Umbros, and then it has Exmali, next to it, and I swear if the creator hears of this video, she's gonna tell me I'm butchering the actual name for it, but...
Well, it's better to butcher the name instead of the sona.
Yeah, no, I love the species, 110%. That's probably the species that I am so much behind, because I love the world that she's created, and the lore, and the way they work, their special characteristics. They have kind of feathered off ears a little bit, and they have stones in each paw that has elemental magic in it. And it's really, really neat.
Well, the maker wants me to link their oh God, words. You know, the link to it.
The Facebook group? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to send you the Facebook group link when I can get a chance.
Yeah, I'll link it so that way if anyone wants to go check it out, be a member, they can go and, go over there.
I'm telling you, it's a very heavily steampunk-inspired world. So if anyone's a fan of steampunk, they're going to absolutely love this world.
Hashtag sponsorship. No. Okay. Where did you get your inspiration when making your fursona?
Well, foxes have always been my favorite animal. I kind of consider them my spirit animal. I used to see them in the wild all the time and take photographs of them. So I've always really, really liked foxes. And then Shy Toxic, her hair is half pink and half purple, like how mine used to be. And part of her hair, the purple side, is actually shaved or shorter.
For the pixie cut.
Yeah, she's got a pixie cut. Emerald was, Shy Toxic's name is, like I said before, my art page's name, and she was my art page's mascot. In school, that's my name. I was pretty much nothing. I was Shy Girl. I was the Shy Girl. No one knew my name because I never talked to anybody. And I'm actually really extremely nervous talking right now.
Oh, no one could tell. You're doing fabulous. Not sarcasm.
And then the toxic part is my fiance.
Oh, you heard that? It's him. He's the toxic one.
No, he had a little. Everyone wants to build a band at one point in their life because they're like, yeah, we could rock out all the time and make the best music ever. Well, he came up with the idea to have a band called Blue Toxic. And, I mean, starting a band's hard, especially when we like to be hermits and not talk to people.
Actually, I thought the first step was trying to play an instrument, but, that's just me.
Oh, he would be the singer, and he sings really well. The only instrument I know how to play is, piano, keyboard. I know how to play that. But, I mean, it's really hard to start a band because even if you can play an instrument, even if you can sing, you're gonna need, other people behind you. And that just doesn't happen. Otherwise, everybody would have a band. Everybody would.
Yeah.
So I just kind of took the toxic part from that and placed it with my high school nickname, and I know it's not creative.
Well, it's more creative than him being the toxic part.
Yeah, no, it's not. He's not toxic. Just the name of his band.
I could be a butthole.
Hey, you heard it from him.
Yeah. He's commenting. Emerald was kind of gifted to me. She used to be a Drecubus. And she was something called a lesser Drecubus, which are just really small. She was 2'7" is what her original height was.
An ankle biter.
Yeah, and she's very, very sassy. She actually cannot speak.
So basically like a chihuahua, but unable to bark.
Kind of, except much, much smarter. But she was kind of gifted to me like custom. I gave somebody a color palette I really, really liked and told them what kind of hairstyle I wanted. And they made her into a Drecubus on a base that they have. And then, since then, I've taken her and I've changed her species to the Ixmali, which, honestly, I just love her so much more as that because I feel like I get to add more to her. I feel like now she's more mine instead of just some custom I got.
You've added yourself to her.
Yeah, and I really like the steampunk style clothing she gets to wear. It fits her personality very well. Just because she can't talk doesn't mean she won't go off on you. She's very, very sassy. And then Calypso is still Dracubus, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna keep her that way. I'm just going on about my characters.
Oh, you're fine.
She was born into slavery and didn't learn how to use her affinity until she got out of slavery as an adult. And for most of her life, she was on the run with her very much smaller but twin sister, Cherry. And, she learned her magic quite easily because of how patient she always was. She's never really been a fighter. She's a really shy character, really sweet, and definitely a nurturing character. While her sister is extremely explosive and in your face, and you're gonna notice her or else.
Isn't that most sisters?
Yeah. But they've always been together, and for the longest part of their lives, they were inseparable. The downside to Calypso is because of how much more noticeable her sister is, how much forward her sister is. Calypso never really developed any fighting spirit. She didn't want to ever be in the, at the center of attention is what I'm trying to say. And she kind of just felt like without her sister, she wasn't really important. Like, everyone says Cherry and Calypso, no one ever just talks about just Calypso.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a lot to take in, honestly. A lot of people are like, I like this animal, I like this color, boom.
No, I write stories to each one of my sonas. Even the ones that aren't my main have long, in-depth backstories. I've got 2 brothers that were born with mutations that made them freaks, and their father hated them and left their mother, and their mother was actually killed by some village people.
Hashtag relatable.
But, and then they kind of grew up without any sort of family. The older brother had to take care of the youngest brother, who, his mutation is kind of like a skin deformation. Anytime, if he's touched, it could actually hurt him.
So it's kind of like psoriasis.
No, there's like this other disease. It's like butterfly disease or something. Butterfly
skin, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what he has. Is his skin can crack just from people touching him, and he releases like a energy fog when his skin cracks, and some of the cracks don't heal ever. They just scar him for life.
That just sounds painful, honestly.
It's a very, very painful mutation, and because of it, he's very scared of everyone and everything, including his brother. He is very scared of his brother.
I'd be scared just to sit down.
But he's actually the biggest sweetheart, too. He's the one who takes care of the garden that him and his brother placed over their mother's grave.
I honestly had something and then I lost it. A brain fart.
I'm sorry.
No, I got lost in the story and then I just, I lost everything. I was enjoying myself.
Yeah, they have very, very in-depth stories.
Well, if this was story time, I'd say go on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Maybe another time.
That gives me a series idea. No, my idea, no one take it. Anyway, how did you find out about the furry life, and what made you want to join?
Okay, so I was probably about 14 years old, and, I didn't really feel like I fit into my family, and I kind of even hid from my family. I didn't have a great family life at all. And in order for me, and obviously when Facebook was, first coming out, everyone's gotta be friends with your mom, gotta be friends with your,
Oh, I hated that.
uncle's cousin twice removed. So I'm friends with all my family.
I hated that so bad.
I feel like they all hate me, and I was just so depressed and everything. I created a separate account under a false name. This is how I first came into the furry fandom. It was actually completely by accident. I had no idea what a furry was. And I did some big no-nos. But, this was years ago when I just came into the fandom. I didn't know what I was doing. I took a picture of a fox persona that I really, really liked, and she was reading a book. And I used that as my profile picture. Again, I know that that's a no-no now.
Yeah, but that's a very common thing for newbies.
Yeah, back then I was 13 years old. I didn't know any better. And it's not like I had the money to go and have somebody make my own persona. And I didn't know what a furry was at all. And my fake name was Shy Fox. And then soon I found all these other people who kept friend requesting me to have, their personas, and, with their persona names, Clyde Silverfang or whatever. I don't know if there's a Clyde Silverfang.
I wouldn't doubt it.
That'd be nice. Hi. But, yeah, so they all started friend requesting me, and I started talking to them. And they would show me all these photos, and they're like, hey, this is my character. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And I was like, you made that? And then they told me about their characters, the stories behind them, how they made them, and then I started making mine. I started having one, and that's just how that came to be.
So when did you officially become a furry?
Gotta think about what year was between my freshman and my sophomore year.
Because I know a lot of people can kind of skim through the fandom, but they're never truly a furry. They're just a fan of it.
I graduated in 2013. I'm trying to do math here, which was my worst subject. I graduated in 2013, and I became a furry, I would say an actual furry with my own persona, somewhere between my freshman and sophomore year.
Yeah, I can't remember anything from those years. I'm old.
I don't know. I've been out of school for 6 years. It's 2019 now. Been graduated for 6 years. But I just know that, in my early high school years is when I became an actual furry.
Yeah. How has your experience been since being a part of this fandom?
I mean, there's always your drama and the people that you're like, oh, that's why the fandom's so widely hated. But that's with any fandom. I mean, you go to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card convention, you find that one person that just is the worst stereotype of the fandom, and you're like, everybody hates this. But overall, the community is very welcoming, very supportive. While I was learning how to draw, I would post my art, and I still did a lot of no-nos, but I learned as I got better. I mean, this is going to be bad. I was guilty of tracing when I first came into the furry fandom, but I also didn't have, a lot of ways to learn how to draw by myself. So I did learn through imitation and heavy reference.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't need that. But 6-7 years ago, I wasn't that good.
Everyone starts from somewhere.
Yeah. So, but they've really helped me grow as an artist, just as an artist, not even, like, talking about how I've grown as a furry, trying to be a little more involved with people, doing things like interviews for YouTube.
Yeah, getting out of your shell and saying, like, hey, world.
Yeah.
Pressure.
Very much so.
Have you had any embarrassing moments while being a furry?
Not really. I mean, probably the most embarrassing thing is when I'm, like, writing my stories, and not all of them are PG.
Well, it's a personal preference.
So, yeah. And I never really... A lot of people would say, well, that's where things start to get weird. And I'm just like... Well, the thing is, these creatures are fake. And if they were real, to me, they're not just animals. They're actual beings. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I can see them as actual characters and look beyond the fact that they're covered in hair.
I don't know why, but that made me smile. It's like, look at this person. Oh, don't mind the fur. They're fine.
It's just a person with fur. Well, it's just a romance. That's what I write. I write romances. And in romances, sometimes you get X-rated scenes.
And fur.
Yeah, just add some fur.
What is one thing you dislike about the fandom?
I really don't like when, you can't just have a civil conversation about things that you disagree on. It always escalates to drama. I think I have been in a conversation with one person who did not see the same way as I did and was able to keep it civil. We were just talking and trying to explain why our opinions were the way they were.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't start up any crap. She didn't, go attack my profile to call me ugly or something like that. All that childish stuff. It was just a real adult conversation. I actually really respect that person for that. But it was just on the topic of free art. Is it rude to ask for it or not?
Oh God, I've had that conversation with people. It's hell.
Oh, it's such a sensitive subject. It's a real sensitive subject.
And yet it's such a basic question. It's like, what's 2 + 2? Don't throw a book at me.
Yeah, I know. And the way that I see it is sometimes, yes, depending on how they are asking for it, it can be very rude. Like, if I'm just showing off my art and I was like, oh, I'm so proud of this. And then they're like, hey, you drew so good. Would you mind drawing my character? That's kind of rude. Because I'm not offering any free art.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just showing my art. But to the people that make, like, a post saying, hey, is anybody doing requests? Or would anyone like to draw my character? Those I don't mind, because you don't have to comment on those. They're not specifically targeting an artist. They're just asking if anybody, artist block happens. You might be scrolling through and somebody thinks, oh, hey, that's a cool character. I could probably sketch that for a warm-up.
I've actually done that. I saw a character, I really liked the design, so I drew it.
Yeah, so
it's spur of the moment.
You never know. You never know that that's going to happen. And I've seen so much backlash on those posts. And I'm like, look, she's not asking specifically you to draw it. If you don't want to draw it, then don't draw it. It's really just that simple.
Just ignore the post.
Yeah, scroll past it. I mean, if you refresh your page, you're probably not going to see that post ever again.
Oh God, you most likely won't. There's so many posts in a single day, depending on the group you're in. Where am I? Oh, if you could change something about the fandom, what would that be?
Get rid of all the freaking drama. No more drama.
Oh God, if only. What about good drama? There is good drama.
Well, the good drama's fine, but it's the bad drama where people are fighting over stuff that is just so small, and just art theft. Drama and theft. I don't like it when characters are stolen or anything like that, because that's painful. I could only imagine how much pain I'd be in if I just opened up Facebook one day and Emerald was stolen, and I was like, oh, no, you can't have that, that's mine. And my biggest fear is that if I confront the person and be like, hey, your character's stolen, that is my character, and what if they're a real decent person that paid good money for that character, and they got all kinds of art? Like, what are they supposed to do with that? I would never be able to pay them.
You wouldn't really have to. They should have checked if it was...
They should have checked, but mistakes happen, and the furry fandom's really huge. It's hard to say specifically and find out whose character belongs to who.
Oh, it's hard, but they should at least be able to reach out or do an image check. Because it's really easy if there's an image already out there, they could find it.
Yeah.
But just for some people, there's no excuse.
Yeah, some people, there's just no excuse.
I took it because I liked it.
Yeah, and they're like, well, I'm not claiming the art is mine, I'm not claiming the character is mine, but you're still using it. Don't you understand that, probably the owner of that character probably really likes that character, and probably put a whole lot of time and effort into their story? I mean, like, once again, if someone stole my emerald, I'd be so upset because that character is very close to me. That character is mine. She's like a little baby to me.
Well, at least it's when you don't have to feed and change.
Yeah, and it's just, I've written so much for her, and I've gotten so much art for her, and I put in so much time and effort into her that if somebody stole them, yeah, I would be very, very upset.
Well, she's saying upset, but you all know what the word is.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep this friendly for child viewers.
I try, but I've already cursed like twice. I'm hoping no one hears them. Just ignore it. Because I'm easily ignored.
Now they're going to go back and try to find out where you cursed.
But that just means they're spending more time watching my video. Let's say that you are not at all socially awkward or shy, and you meet a total stranger. Someone who has never heard of the fandom at all. How would you describe or explain the fandom to them?
I would tell them that it's just like reading a book. Really. Reading or writing a book, except you get to create something from it. When you read a book, you get to see what the author created. You get to grow with the characters along with the books, and everything else. That's how I see it. Except, in all reality, I am the author. I create these characters. I decide what the personality is. I decide what they do for a living. And all kinds of stuff. And then I get to grow with these characters as they grow, because I'm always writing more. More stuff always happens, so some development always happens.
I like that. That would get me hooked, being that I wrote while I was in high school. It was crap, but still.
Well, and it doesn't even really have to be a it doesn't really have to be the stereotypical idea of what a furry is. For instance, you don't have to write a character by a dog. It doesn't have to be a dog. there's just so much real and not real. Like, you've never heard of Druncubus. Well, Druncubus are pretty freaking cool.
Honestly, I thought you said succubus to start with, but, you know.
Well, there's those too. But, or if you like dragons, a dragon can be your persona. You can make a dragon character and decide their story and what they're like, and imagine if they were real. And then when it comes to personality or things, it really can be your own world. Some of my characters have powers and some of them don't. I have a bear that's a mechanic, and then I have what's another one? I have a dragon, and then I have a centaur, and I have a fairy, and it just goes on and on about all these walks of life of characters. Some of them have magic, some of them don't.
Is the bear a brown bear, wears overalls, has the name Bob on it, but his real name's Jimmy or something? Because I could see that.
No, his name is Aiden.
Oh. There goes my hillbilly idea.
But he is a brown bear.
Oh, I got that.
But he wears just like your typical mechanic smock and blue jeans. He actually used to work in a bar, and then he became a cop, and now he's back to being a mechanic. Because the way the stories go, the mechanic life is actually an alternate timeline where his father didn't die.
Oh, now you're getting complex on me.
Okay, in his original story, he worked at a nightclub. And he eventually met a girl at the nightclub, and they ended up going out. In his story, through that, it took a lot more time than what I'm saying it, but he eventually became a cop. And his chief officer is the girl he's going out with's father.
A classic.
Okay. And then what I did is wrote an alternate timeline. You know, kind of a what-if scenario.
Yeah.
And the what-if scenario is, what if his dad hadn't died when he was a little kid?
So it just spins off to this and this and...
Yeah, because I'm always writing more stories. And I mean, and they're my stories. So, who cares how complicated I make it as long as I can understand it.
Wait, give me a second. I'm putting a bandage on. Okay, sorry about that. If you had a warning to give to those who are just starting out or haven't joined the fandom yet, what would that be?
You make your persona, anytime you post it anywhere, you put a sticker on it. I know it feels like you're ruining the picture, but you're really protecting it. Put it in a hard-to-remove spot to where if somebody wants to try to steal your persona, they're going to have to do some serious editing, and then somebody's going to look at that and be like, this doesn't look right. I only send blank copies of my personas to people I really, really trust.
That's why I made my own logo once I started learning
otherwise
about that.
Otherwise it has my signature on it somewhere, or it has stickers on it, or sometimes I'll just put in, like, red letters belongs to Shy Toxic Art or my actual name when I post onto furry groups.
What would you say was your best or favorite moments have been since being in the fandom?
I've met a lot of really wonderful people through this fandom, and I've gotten a whole lot of new friends. I mean, yeah, it's kind of over the internet friends, but they're people that I can talk to, and I get so excited to share my stories with them, and they share their stories with me, and some of my friends even write the stories with me. So we're writing a story together with our characters.
Has being a furry changed you since, I'm not reading it the way I put it. I put it wrong. Wait, let me do that over. Has being a furry changed you since before being in the fandom? And if so, how? Did that make sense?
Yeah, I can kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not good with words.
Yeah, being a furry has definitely changed my life for the better, because when I came into the fandom, I was a very depressed, very emotional, very shy, and in my shell kind of person. And I didn't have hardly any friends. I really wasn't even allowed to leave the house at all. I was either never...
Sorry.
I was, like, either never allowed to leave the house, or I was kind of kicked out. My life, my younger years really, really weren't that great. And I didn't feel at home in my home. And so when I joined the furry fandom, I found all this support and all this positivity and all this help in things that I loved, like creating characters and drawing and writing. I found all this support behind things that I loved, and it just helped me get out of my shell a little bit more, push myself a little bit harder to be a better artist, to be more friendly towards people. And I didn't even talk to people online. My friends list on my real Facebook account was family and a couple of people in high school. I was that kid in high school that sat on the gym steps because I didn't have any friends.
Now that it's relatable right there for me. That and I was just super lazy.
Yeah. Well, it's not that I was lazy, it's just all my friends at that time, for 3 years of high school, like, they all had separate lunches than me, and then the one table I sat at lunch was broke during a high school fight, and then no one would let me sit with them.
I never ate a school lunch at high school, honestly. I wish I did.
My school had okay lunches. I mean, it's school food, so it still sucks.
Oh, mine was just poor. It was like food you'd get like at elementary. It was just that bad. I saw it. I'm like, nope. But
we digress.
Yes. God, I gotta stop doing that. My ADD's kicking in. Stop. Do you have a fursuit or any parts?
I would really, really, really love a fursuit, but it's just not in my budget. In my household, I don't have a job because my anxiety gets to me, and I know it's gonna sound like a really bad excuse, but I've come home and I've hurt so bad just from being so tense all day because I've tried to have jobs.
Mm-hmm.
It's not because I haven't tried. So currently my household lives off of one income. And in today's world, that's really just not enough.
It's not. Sometimes it's not.
So when it comes to having a fursuit, I've been looking YouTube tutorials up, and I am 80% sure I can make a decent first head. So, and I know I can make paws because I've taken sewing classes before. I know how to sew really well. It's making the head that would be the hardest thing for me.
You make some paws, you hit me up.
I certainly will, if I could ever afford materials.
That's the hard part. Fur is so expensive. And even the cheap ones are crap.
Oh, yes. And it's either you get high quality or you just don't get it, because the cheap stuff will fall apart and it'll be awful and not even worth spending your money on.
It'd be better just to get, like, any cheap material to practice with before you even touch the fur. But it's so soft. Yeah, I got distracted again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, as far as having any furry, physical related items, I've made a keychain from clay, and then I've got a set of ears, and that's about it.
Hey, that's a start. What is your opinion on fursuits, other than what you've said?
I mean, I love them. I love how some of them can be so, like, crazy detailed. Like, and it just puts me in awe that somebody worked so hard to do that, and it looks like there's an actual freaking dragon or wolf right in front of me. Like, and there are people that really get into it and make it look like there's a 6-foot-tall wolf standing on his hind legs.
And yet you imagine yourself there, and you get awkward.
Yeah, I'm always awkward. If I ever went to a furry convention, I'd probably just be so awkwardly staring at people because I'm admiring their fursuits.
That actually just answered my next question.
Oh.
Like,
I'm mind reader.
You're fine. I was going to ask if you've been to any, but hey, we're already there.
No, I haven't.
Would you want to go?
Oh, I'd love to go, but it just comes down to my budget again. I don't really have a whole lot. Most of my art page is... I started my art page because I needed something to bring in something. So that way I could buy things that I needed. Like, my son needed clothes. And that's why I started my art page. That's why I started selling art. Is because I needed a way that wasn't going to stress me out to where I'd come home in pain, but I needed a way to make some money. And then that also kind of led me into the furry fandom a bit more, because then I was just like, I get to draw everybody's characters, and I get to hear their stories about it, and it's awesome, the way that people will talk about their personas, and I love hearing people get passionate about things.
What is your worst encounter or interaction you've ever had with another furry?
Just mostly, I guess, when, you come across somebody who doesn't have the same view as you, and you feel like they're just arguing over something stupid. I really don't have a whole lot of bad experiences in the furry community. I've never, even the people that told me when I was using somebody else's persona as my profile picture, even those people that told me, they were super nice to me, and I explained that, hey, I'm only, 13, 14, and they were like, yeah, well, you might want to try to do something yourself, and they were so nice to me. I've never been scammed, so I don't have that bad experience. Well, I haven't been scammed yet.
Oh, you heard that yet. Go after her.
Yeah, I haven't been scammed yet, because I commission, 4 people. I commissioned 4 people, and I think I'm friends with all of them.
It's good to make friends with other artists.
Yes, and I appreciate all their input on my art. The creator of the Ink Smiley series, she owns a page called Crafty Cavi, I think is its name. I can send you the link if you'd like. But she has helped me grow so much more as an artist. I did a lot of chibi art, and she came to me, and she was like, dude, why the hell are you drawing like this? And she showed me my chibi art when you could draw like this. And then she found one of my really, really old sketches back when I was more focused on realism.
Well, it helps to get others' input.
Yeah, and she's never been a fan of chibi. She's very picky on her chibi artists, and I mean...
It's a hit and miss with a lot of people.
It is, and I guess she just saw mine as a miss.
Well, the current one that you were talking about. Words. Yeah. In your opinion, why do you think furries and the fandom is so appealing?
Well, it's all back to the creation. And the decisions that really only that I can make. I can make anything. If I want a panda wolf mix that has dragon wings, I can do that.
I have not seen that yet. I'd like to see that.
You know, kind of whatever reality I want can happen.
Which animal do you think is the most overused for a fursona, and why?
I don't really like to focus on the overuse of sonas because, I mean, if it's your fursona, it's your fursona, and you shouldn't be feeling ashamed because it's, quote, overused.
Well, we can mix it, or change it up to, what is the most common you've seen?
I see a lot of canines.
Talking to you all, you canine owners? No.
Wolves, dogs, foxes, and I have a fox. I know I have a common persona.
I lost where I was again. Crap. What do you think is a good way to help the community get a better reputation to people who might not understand?
Don't focus this on as if everyone is, to the people who don't really understand, is all, they should, what just kills me, sorry, words.
You're fine.
Let me try to get some words together. Okay.
A lot of words.
The community, I would really like to see more, probably gonna sound like a cheap ass here, more free events where furries just go out into their community, into like the little things that happen in their community, and wear their furwear, I guess you could call it, whether you have a fursuit or not. And just show the community that there are so many people out there everywhere. I mean, this community is so huge, you've got one in your neighborhood somewhere.
So basically more fur meetups.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on the stigma people have about the fandom?
It's all wrong. It's all wrong. All the really bad stereotypes, yes, they do exist. That's why stereotypes happen. But to say that all furries are like the one bad stereotype is just so wrong. That would be like saying the stereotype of everything is true. And you know that that's wrong.
I'm just having a lot of things come up with anti-vaxxers right now since it's such a hot topic.
Yeah, I'm not getting into that one.
It's just what came to mind. How do you react to hate?
I really just end up ignoring it and moving past it. I mean, in about a week, are they really going to affect my life?
It's a really good way. I mean, to handle it. What is it about the furry community that makes you happy?
Just all the support and creativity. I mean, it is a very supportive fandom. We all give input, and the younger artists and the younger generations, we try to help them. I feel like most free art posts should be directed towards, the kids still living with their parents that can't really have a job. Because, I mean, everybody likes having art,
Mm-hmm. Okay, last question. I know that was a lot. You're probably already tired of me by now.
My fiance just showed me the time, and he's wondering when we're going to bed.
Would you be offended if someone slapped you with a pancake?
I don't know how I'd react to that. I'd probably really just look at them strange for 5 seconds, turn around, and walk the other way. Like it never happened.
Would you want the pancake?
No, I would just walk. No comment on any of that. Like it never happened.
It was just one of those, ghost things. You saw it and it was like, nope, it's not real.
Nope, that did not just happen. I'm gonna go over here now.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
I'll have all of her links down in the description box. Thank you.
Alright, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, I really do like this series. I seem to learn something new each time. Thank you all for sticking with me through this series. I do hope that it helps shed some light on the furry lifestyle and community. If you would like to see more of the series, let me know in the description box below. And as always, I will have their info and my own down below as well. See you next time.